Now, I want to make one additional comment before I wrap up and turn it over to our next speakers. I just want to note that just as we see the risks to our veterans, I'm also watching significant risks to our uniformed military and that desperate desire that I hope we all have to keep them apolitical. Early this morning, we learned about the dismissal of one of our senior-most generals in our national security community, General Haw, who was the head of the NSA and the Cyber Command. These are the people who keep us safe from cyber threats, who do our wiretaps on our adversaries abroad. These are folks who are critical in keeping us safe. As a CIA officer, I worked every single day with NSA. It was like a tag team. We would understand the intentions and goals of our adversaries, Chinese, Russians, North Koreans, Iranians, by getting that super classified information, that top secret information that only intelligence communities can pick up, and then turning that into a plan to protect the country, and then in some cases go offensive, right? Just like our enemies are going against us. We have very sensitive information and operations that go against our adversaries. General Haw is deeply respected. He served in the military for more than 30 years. He's a good man of dignity and was basically fired from no reason. From what we can understand, a white nationalist walked into Donald Trump's office, a woman who is well-known conspiracy theorist. She just fingered certain people she thought should go, including 2- and 3-star generals, and the next day they're gone. And I want to say that while I've heard the general brief the Senate Armed Services Committee, the House Armed Services Committee many, many times, he's had some of our most sensitive assignments in the entire military. What concerns me is this has become a new norm. This is going to become normal. They're going to say, well, he's tainted, so we're going to take someone who served more than any of those people sitting around in the Oval Office, and we're going to kick them out. And we're going to say, we don't like the looks of you, and we're going to say that service means nothing to your country. That while we know that the military swears an oath to the Constitution, not to any one political party or any one leader, we don't believe them, right? We believe ourselves and our conspiracy theorists more than the decency and service record of a respected general. So while I apologize to him and to the other leaders in his department who are now dealing with that absence, we have a hearing next week with that leadership. I wonder if that hearing can go forward to tell us about the most pressing threats, a classified hearing. What I'm most worried about is the signal it sends for so many other uniformed officers serving their country. They signed up to serve, and they're being treated like trash. They're being treated like a piece of political trash because of conspiracy theorists that have a greater influence on this president than the men and women who serve every day. It's a shame on the heads of this president, on the Secretary of Defense for letting it happen, and I can't let a day go by without marking this time and space. What is the next general that's going to be fired? What is the next mission that's going to be thrown out simply because someone looked at it the wrong way? That's the moment we're in. I'm shocked that my Republican colleagues, who have always claimed themselves to be pro-defense, pro-patriot, pro-America, pro-flag, then stand up for people who served 30 years and don't let them go down in flames because you're scared of the spotlight being put on you. You're scared of that man. So many actions that are happening on the floor of the Senate these days are sheer out of fear, right? There's very few true believers. They're terrified of being primaried. They're terrified of someone turning against them. Stand up for at least the U.S. military. Every single person in this chamber has lived a good and decent life. They haven't had bombs going off. They haven't had missiles flying into our country every single day, the way war-distraught towns and cities in other countries live through. We do that on the grace of our military, and they're being treated like trash by Donald Trump, by everyone in this chamber who doesn't stand up. And while we're talking about veterans, I can't escape the notice of what's going on in our uniformed active duty military, the soon-to-be veterans. Thank you, and I yield back.
President.
Senator from Minnesota.
Madam President, I rise proud to follow my colleague from Michigan, who has, of course, served herself and then also proud to be here with Senator Rosen of Nevada, so many veterans in Nevada. And we rise today to urge our colleagues to